Je me suis pris un chocolat tantôt, mais des pépites, oui.
Ouais, présente you.
Oh, il est sorti sa tête.
Tiens-tu?
Ouais. Ça se pose bien des petites questions, ce jeu-là.
Ouais. C'est pas comme elle veut.
Elle a baillé puis ça sent un petit peu.
Elle a senti le vieux poisson. Gnou!
Non, tu sais, elle se pose des questions surtout.
Ah, j'ai-tu pas mis le micro à mute puis tout le monde m'entend? Ah, tout le monde m'entend. Allô? J'arrive!
Je t'envoie un truc sur Hangouts. Pour regarder plus tard.
Ouais, ouais. Hello! Hey, Otto! Hi! Hi, Malvina! Hi, Misha! Hi, Mikey! Hi, Alex! Hi, bloop, bloop, bloop! Hey, Cyan! Hi, guys! I forgot that the mic was on. Oops. French sounds so beautiful. Oh, maybe French, but not this French, seriously. It's very lumberjack-esque. Hey, Faridas. Hi, Dominic. Hi, Soda. Hi, Okuni. Audio is good, no video. Video should be here. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. I hope you guys have your drinks, your snacks. Did it go better than painting the bedroom, Otto? So many cute cats. I think this is the Etcher books. And you guys have seen my small etcher that I've also decorated. You know how much I like to put stickers on stuff. But since these have a fabric cover, no stickers will stick on there, except if you find patches that have a glued back. Like, not the ones that you have to use an iron to put on, but the ones that are sticky on the back, and you peel off the paper and you stick them on. I had a bunch of those, so I was like, hey, you know what? This is what I will use them for. Lumberjack-esque. We are no experts on French, so believe us, it was beautiful. Oh my gosh, if that's beautiful. It's a bit like a joke, you know. To me, I mean, because it's like you hear something and you're like, oh, it's beautiful, it's in another language. And when the person translates, it's like something really silly and dumb. And you're like, oh. It's a lot better. I think it will take 3 coats instead of 5. That's already good. Who's got Doritos? You do, I guess? I have one slightly faulty Etcher sketchbook. I'll probably paint the cover. Oh, that's good too. Love the stickers. I think my favorite is the maple leaf. Kind of have to, right? I also got snacks because I'm a bit late this time because I had to pop to the post office before the stream so I could send stuff before the post office closes, and it's not open tomorrow, so it was today or Monday, and I was like, ugh, I'll try to get it sent today. So I grabbed some snacks too. I grabbed these because I want to introduce you guys to these if you don't know what they are. And I also got the very Canadian coffee crisp. Hey. So yeah, if you haven't seen a coffee crisp, you'll be able to see. With this, this is not the regular bar, this is the big one, but I will not eat all of this, of course. Oh my gosh. Half. Because it's conveniently like split. Alright. The lucky coin cat, the manekineko. And cats and cats and cats and the fish. Dang, my brain is not letting me remember the name of this. But yeah. Coffee crisp. Yeah. Oh, I got it, Amisha. Hold on. I picked it up. Okay, hold on. Where are all my... Oh my gosh, allergies are so bad. Sorry. I got this thingamajigger here that's super handy for opening envelopes. Ooh! Oh my gosh, Amisha, it's so good! Taiyaki! Yes! That's the thing. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, Amisha. Look at this, guys. How perfect is this? Hey, Boxa Paint, hi. I don't think those sweets are available here. Oh. Question, how do you like your coffee? Answer, crisp. I don't remember it, but hi, Ellen. Hi. Oh, I forgot to take allergy meds. Not that I need it, but yeah. So I might sneeze some more. It is perfect. Thank you so much. Right. So, what do you want me to start with? maybe not the snacks. Like, I'm not exactly hungry right now, so I might wait for these. Okay, so there's a thing I wanted to try out today, and it's in response to one of the Daniel Smith live streams. You will say again, and I will say, yeah, sorry. But it's cottonwood tree season here, so my allergies are no. Yeah, mine are pretty bad. They were awful yesterday too. Like, I know it's bad when it really feels like catching a cold with all the symptoms. Like, the throat is all irritated and hurts, and sneezing and blowing my nose, and yeah. Ugh. So yeah, okay, I wanted to... sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. But I think the sort of what will come out of it is interesting, even if the source of it is what it is. But yeah, I was in the two live streams. You can hear my evil cackling. It's not the Daniel Smith guy. Well, not this moment in time. It's one of the person who was in the chat who mentioned that you could mix cerulean blue and cadmium red to get a gray. And I was like, oh, that's a mix I haven't tried before. And I thought it was interesting. I think it might work, but I don't know for sure. So that's why I wanted to sort of paint it. But I tried asking the person, I was like, oh yeah, which cadmium red and which cerulean? Because if you've browsed like all the paint makers and all their paints, you will have noticed that there's more than one cerulean and more than one cadmium red. It depends on the brand, but you might have, I think like Daniel Smith has cerulean blue, they have the cerulean blue chromium, that's just one, and they don't have real cadmiums, they have fake cadmiums, but and then there's like Holbein has also a few of those. This is Sennelier, and Sennelier has two ceruleans as well. Anyway, so I tried asking the person, I was like, oh, which one and which one? And she just replied something absolutely nonsensical. She was like, oh, but all of them, all the colors. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, what? And I sort of ranted about that on the Moderate, and we can discuss the Daniel Smith kerfuffle as if it isn't a catastrophe. But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not gonna find out through this person. But I was like, oh, I have this palette that I put together some time ago, and it's basically these are Holbein colors, but I kind of went the opposite route of those earth-friendly palette, and I put all the cadmiums and the cobalts in there. I was like, well, I want to see what they're like. Like, I want to paint with these. They're nice colors. They're super intense and good looking. And I'll also put the phthalo. Like, I have phthalo green and phthalo blues in here. So I remembered I had this palette, and I was like, oh, I can grab a cerulean and test the reds in there and see if we can get a gray or something. So that's something I wanted to try out today. Otto says, oh, by the way, peeps, Da Vinci is doing a sale. Go, go, go. Especially if you're in the US. Dude, if you're in the US, go check it out. Oh my gosh, what's holding you back? I ended up making a poison palette too. That's a good name. Also, A Gallo is selling on the 30th. Oof. Is anyone gonna try and grab something? It's always so hard to grab stuff from those kind of releases. Like Greenleaf and Butterfly also. I don't know if it's still like that, but I know it used to be like that. Whenever they would release stock, it would sell out so fast. I don't want the stress of that, to be honest. So even if I would love to have a gallows set one day, either it's gonna happen or it's not, but I don't I don't have the energy for waiting in line and then it borks, like internet does a number on it and you don't get it and it's all messed up and I'm like, ugh. The only thing I'm grabbing is my wallet. The only thing I'm grabbing is my wallet. Yeah, I'm not gonna be grabbing one of those two either. I would love to, but either it's gonna happen in the future or it's not gonna happen. I don't feel kind of the fear of missing out too much on that. Okay, so this pan is relatively fresh, so only the sort of top of the paint is kind of dry, but if I were to poke in it, it would be like super soft and rewettable. I was trying to fill a pan and the binder had separated, so what I had to do was to sort of pour out a bunch of paint in a small dish and mix it and then put it back into pans. So I have a bunch of pans that are drying for these. Does anyone know if the Da Vinci Artemis has the PR177 in it? It's, oh, hold on, I gotta, this is, of course I had to grab the one pan that I had not identified. This tube, it is a PB28, this one. It's their cerulean blue-red shade from Sennelier. Okay, and here, that's gonna be a bit tricky. So, cadmium, red purple, red deep, red light, red orange, vermilion. Okay, so purple, deep, light, orange, vermilion. Okay. It is a beautiful cerulean blue, seriously. Okay, so that's the light. That would be the deep. And this is the purple. I don't know why they call it purple. It's the only difference is it's a little bit more like blood in color. It's more muted and yeah, there's not really any purple in it. Mikey, I have the same technique. When something looks too good in an email, I just like get rid of it. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Quite a stretch, this purple. It is. It's a beautiful color, mind you, but it's, how is that purple? What am I missing? Okay, so I'll start with the more orange one, but I think it's gonna work quite well. It separates really easily on the palette. That has a really interesting texture because of the cerulean blue. I love when sort of neutral have this separation going on, because it adds so much character to a mix. Hey, Lise! Just had first bonding session with the ear. It went okay. Oh, I'm so glad. I must not dip my brush in my drink. Hi, YZ! Hey, guys! Welcome! That's gonna be with the red deep. The thing is with these colors is that the cerulean has a much weaker tinting strength. So you kinda need more of it to balance out the strength of the red. I think this one is generally gonna be a bit more purple, but I think that it doesn't really matter anyway, because as the paint dry, the colors separate, so it looks less like a gray than it did when I mixed it. Hey Brenda, hi! Grids give me a Misty Morning vibe. Ooh, I should swatch Misty Morning next to them. That's a good idea. So I'll do the last mix with the purple. Well, the purple. The Cad Red purple. That is not really a purple. I don't know if you can see how soft my pan is. Hey, Paulo! Hi! I really love purpley grays, they're so beautiful. I agree with you, Feridas, absolutely. Like, the added texture in the grays is probably one of my favorite things. So I know this is personal tastes and everything, but in the Daniel Smith live stream, was it yesterday or Thursday? One of them. At some point, someone asked to see two different neutral colors with a yellow, or yeah, was it with a yellow or just in a mix? I think it was with the yellow. So the dude grabbed. He got the two grays in question. He was swatching them anyway, so it was neutral tint, I guess, and not Alvaro, but the neutral Joseph color, Joseph Z. I don't know how to say his name, so yeah, the puddles look so good. Like, how pretty is that? Hi, April. Hey, no problem, Lise. If you want to talk about it in the chat, by all means. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, so he mixed the two neutral colors with yellow, and to me that just felt so sad because there's probably black, I think, in those neutral colors, and like, for me, for my taste, mixing these colors with black kind of kills the color, and I was just like, oh, that's not a fun mix. That's just dull and muted and all flat. I think my Misty Morning is in this palette. I think it is this one, yes. How do you keep track of what's in what? Either it's palettes I see often, or I can sometimes. Well, this is not a good example because it's this super tightly fitted palette, but I usually write the color name on the side of the pan, so I can often check like between the rows and see what colors it is. But I mean, there are palettes that I have no idea what's in them. But other palettes that I remember what's in them. There are surprise palettes at time when you just open a palette and you're like, oh, okay. So that's really not dry. I mean, not that this page is any drier, but I don't remember what colors are in the Misty Morning. I think there's maybe a Viridian Gray in there. But it goes well with these colors. So yeah, I guess you can sort of mix a gray, or because I think it's a visual gray. I think in the sense that if you have a swatch like this and it's on the wall and you don't look too close, it will definitely look gray. But if you look up close, you're gonna see that it's a mix of a bunch of things. An optical gray, I think they call it. So yeah, that was, well, I thought that was fun to swatch. PG50, oh, that could be. Yeah, a good cobalt teal. Yeah, I think you're right. That makes more sense. Because I have the name of the palette visible, but I don't have the pigments visible. So I don't remember what they are. Alright, so I'm gonna put this somewhere to dry maybe. I wanted to show you guys 3 swatches too that I did not long ago. Okay, so not these 2, but these 3 colors. They're colors from Isauro, the Belgian paint company. I'll put them into pans here. So I have the indigo blue here, which I thought was super interesting because it doesn't have any black in it. Apparently, it's ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and a sort of burnt sienna, burnt umber. It's a PBR7. So it's PB29, PB15, and PBR7. And it makes for this really pretty granulating color. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I also got their Isauro Gray Light, which is this greenish gray, but it's made from PR101 and PG17. So no black pigment again. I was like, I like this. And then this color is not exactly like special or mind-blowing, but it's Mars Brown Light and it's PR101, and it just goes well with the other 2, I thought. But yeah, I was trying to see in their range if they have some like unique colors or some really different things, and I found these, well, these two at least. So I will be making sort of a mixing sheet. I make these mixing sheets that I post on my Patreon, so I wanted to make one with these 3 colors, even if it's not exactly a triad, but it's gonna be fun to mix. Alright, so that's the show and tell for today. No, that's not true. I have the snacks to sort of show and tell. I remember because I made these not long ago. But like I've gone back to sketchbooks and realized that some that I've not labeled, I have no idea what they are. So I really need to start labeling my pans a bit more. I should. Technically, it's a triad, yeah. Yeah. And these, if you want to see what paint made from actual stones ground up look like, these are the 3 schminkes colors. The 3 schminke colors. So this one is green porphyry, I think. This is opalite, and this is lapis lazuli. It's quite nice actually for the very difficult pigment that is lapis lazuli. The triad somehow gives me a foggy red canyon in the night sky. Yeah, I agree. There's something really compelling I found with these 3 colors. I'm being clawed 2 ribbons because Disney is 2 minutes. I know what you mean. I know this struggle. These are other schminke colors. See, I don't exactly remember what are these 2. I know where they are, so I could go check. I know this one is Potter's Pink because it's fairly obvious. Yeah, I kind of remember what's what. Not always, but sometimes I label it. Okay. I'll put that away. I lost it yesterday at the end of the Daniel Smith live stream because the guy repeated his stuff about the granulation in Mars Black not being explained by the same way the other paints granulate, because apparently Mars Black is a synthetic, and since it's a synthetic, it means it should have particles that are all the same size, weight, and shape, so therefore it shouldn't granulate. And it just drives me bonkers because it's not true. Hey, Stephen, hi. Like, I was fine, but then at the end he came out with that again, and I was like, ah! Okay, you're being a good example. Now I'm deciding how to set up my swatch book. Label. That is the weirdest argument about granulation. I know, Paulo. It's so mind-boggling because you hear that and you're like, okay, but like, how does it work? Whereas if you hear something like, oh, depending on the size and the weight of the particle, some will sink to the paper faster. That's kind of more visual, and you can sort of see and understand more what might happen if that's true. Whereas the stuff about the particles being all the same, not supposed to cause granulation, like, yeah, but if it's heavy particles that are all this, they will drop regardless, and they will group together. Like, how is the fact that everything is the same size, shape, and weight, like, how is that gonna interfere on the granulation regardless? Like, it doesn't make sense. Nobody even mentioned things like PB29 being man-made. Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, well, okay, fine, but then if you take a look at all the PBR7 colors, like all the iron oxides and like all the yellow iron oxide, the red iron oxides, and the black iron oxides, I think Mars Black is the black iron oxide, but all of these, sure, they used to be natural, but now they're mostly man-made, and they all still granulate, so what's up with that? I don't get it. It's watercolor groundless. Oh my gosh. Oh, Paulo, I think he would have gone like so angry at that stream yesterday because he kept calling Yinmin blue just yttrium. And I was trying in chat to be like, but it's yttrium, indium, and manganese, so it's either those three full names or Yinmin. Like, it's not just yttrium. It doesn't work. Like, I get it, Yinmin sounds stupid, but that's the name of it. What do you want to do? I think you can also call it mass blue. Like, that was on his paperwork, like the university who found the color, they also call it mass blue. I'm like, okay, if that's easier to say than Yinmin. I think I might have a stroke midstream. Yeah, I think he would. So, better not watch it then. I'm trying to think of what to do. Does Yinmin... It's... The Y is for yttrium, the En is for the indium, and the Mn is for manganese. It's the sort of the letters of the element. So it's YINMN. So it's yin. Yeah, thanks, Paulo. I try very, very hard to remember that it's like for the elements and how it's written, because it's important to me and I know to some other people, and I'm like, we gotta be accurate about stuff. So let's be accurate about stuff. And yeah, it was aggravating to watch because he had his lab mix up a small jar of Yinmin watercolor. And he was like swatching it out and then just wiping off his palette, and I was like, don't do that. He just wiped off like $1 worth of paint, of unique paint out there. It just hurt my brain so bad. So you have one element that's called yttrium and one that's ytterbium. Man, those words have got to be worth a lot at Scrabble. let me grab my sketchbook. I didn't know that DS had Yin blue. Yeah, well, they have it as pigment. Like, they have the pigment, but they don't have it as a paint yet. Oh yeah, Stephen in the chat says, forgot to hit like if you feel like hitting the like button. That's always much appreciated. Were you watching the live stream yesterday too, Alex? It doesn't, not officially, but the CEO have some sort of prototype sample. Yeah, I think it's basically his lab sort of mold a small batch of the pigment with their binder. And they gave that to him so he could swatch it. Yeah, Lena, same. Well, I've heard of manganese. I'm very sure I remember manganese, but yttrium doesn't ring any bell, so... Otto says, having tested Kramer's Yinmin Blue, I can see why other brands are holding off making it into watercolors. It turns rock hard and insoluble. Insoluble? Yeah, insoluble over a very short time. What's the state of your pan currently? I've heard DS wants to include it into their range, yeah. Who's surprised? Like, how much do you think the tube is gonna be? The guy was saying that, like, as a company purchasing the pigment, it was about $1 per gram. So there's gonna be a markup if they sell it as paint. So I was trying to think on that and see how much it would sell as a tube. I was looking at it yesterday and I saw that Schminke has it as oil paint and it's like $35 US for a tube of 15 ml. And Derivan has it as an acrylic, and it's something like $140 for a tube of 40 ml. When I got my full pan from them, I couldn't make a video for a few months. It was totally unusable by then. That's so weird. Like, in terms of the what's happening on the chemistry level, I really wonder why some of these pans, like you have that with Vivianite and Malachite and Lapis Lazuli and Azurite. Like, all of those, over time, they become so different and hard and weird. Maybe less than Primatech. Then they sent me another, which were great, but over a couple of months it became unusable. So you have two very fancy rocks in your collection. You could make them into Christmas ornaments. Just need to glue like a ring to it and have your pan, and then you add a hook. You know, those Christmas hook. Whoop. And there you go. You just know the S has been to the original Yinmin. And it's close to the Mayan Blue mine as well. Paulo, what makes Yinmin so expensive then? Is there one of the elements that is a lot more expensive than the others? Or is it the process? Do you know? I would honey glycerize the bejesus out of it. Oh, earrings! Oh, that would be really fancy earrings. I can't remember if I kept it, but if I kept it, I will turn my rock hard tube of cobalt violet from M. Graham into a Christmas ornament for sure. Sometimes the process to extract it is rather costly. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, it's a lovely color, of course, but I'm not ready to shell out that much for it. I think I might be more interested in putting that money into the pan of lapis lazuli that Choosing Keeping sells. If you know you have the extra money for one of these, because it's a full pan, it is 30 pounds, but it's such a beautiful color. And it's like genuine lapis lazuli made by Zetchi. So that I can sort of picture better, and it seems to be a bit more long-lasting, has a longer lifespan than the Atrium, than the Yinmin pan does. Yeah, I think that's... I kept a lot of my empty tubes. I might make them into ornaments as well. Huh. You know all the crinkled up tubes that are empty? Maybe seal them in resin or something and add a ring to it and use them as ornament. Ooh! Is Yinmin the one that is good at stopping solar heat? Like put on the roof of buildings or similar? I think it has a really... What was it saying? It can take a lot of heat, I think. So maybe... Oh, that would be so clever. Or you could put Noodler's blue state blue into glass and process it like small. Oh, that Bay State blue is the Phthalo turquoise equivalent in the ink world. I think that there is something intrinsically wrong with the Kremer watercolor base. I agree. I agree so much. I have gotten the set that is the beginner set for watercolor. You know, it comes with 3 pigments, a bottle of the liquid binder, some gum arabic. It has a porcelain mortar and pestle. And you know, it comes with the liquid binder, and I hated it. It's so thin, and I don't know how they make it so thin. Like it's really not a high concentration of gum arabic. So to get a paint that will not rub off, you need to put an extreme amount of the binder in it. But then it gets to be such a liquid paint that when it dries, it cracks anyway, because there's too much water, and when it dries, it stretches it too far. So I don't like it either. Love the pigments, but their own binder or their own pans, even for that. Like they sell some of their pans that they sell, the color will rub off. So it's like, eh. I support this idea of going to Roman Schmal when you're done, when you have a paint budget again, Lise. But I mean, for anything else, you can also reach out to people on the Discord, and I'm pretty sure someone could send you dots or of something. Like if you feel this need for new toys to play with, but don't want to break the bank. Otto says, I'd give Kremer's Yinmin paint about 6 out of 10 when it's usable. Obviously 0 when it turns unusable. It's like a lackluster ultramarine. Sorry. Yeah, looking at the swatch that they had yesterday in the live, it seems like a much lighter blue in the same kind of hue as ultramarine, but it's really, really granulating. Aww. I bought some Sennelier watercolor base to make some genuine Mayan blue with Kremer pigment. I hope you will enjoy it. The Sennelier watercolor base has a much thicker texture, so at least there's that. It made some nice and decent colors when I tried it with their good pigments. I realized, you know what I realized lately, guys, is that Mayan Dark Blue from Daniel Smith is the only paint that uses PB82, and I cannot figure out why. And I was trying to find if some place sold the pigment itself, but the only place they had listed for the pigment, they don't have it anymore. And I don't get it. It's supposed to be super light fast. And I was like, why don't all the companies have something with PB82? What's wrong? What's happening? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it's this color here. It is so nice. I think I said it in the Kremer video, but their Yinmin is like if ultramarine and cobalt blue had a baby. Oh, that's a really good visual for the actual color. Yeah, that's Mayan Dark Blue, this one. Supposed to be. Sorry. It's kind of funny now how everyone doubts what Daniel Smith puts on their tubes. And I'm rambling about Daniel Smith again, I'm sorry. There's not a lot of drama that happens in the watercolor world. Hey, that's fine, Otto. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that you decided to come to the stream anyway. And I hope you will have a good night's sleep. This year is full of drama. To be honest, finding a way of resurrecting the genuine manganese blue in a safe, secure, and environmental friendly way would be more interesting than Yinmin, which hue-wise is kind of like ultramarine. I'm with you 100% on this. Genuine manganese blue is such a unique color. Like, no real hue has come close to it. PB82 and PB27 are my favorite blues because I'm just an art supply flagellant. What does that mean? Bummer, Otto. You should have told me that I should have realized and opened up the snacks earlier. Dang it. How is there so much dust? Oh, it comes from outside. Oh, I would love manganese blue as a regular color again. Can you imagine all the mix we could do with it? Oh, it would be so good. The flagellants was an order of monks that weapons. Oh! Oh! It's a very French sounding word. Paulo says there's also a lot of variability in the color of Yinmin due to it not being a stoichiometric compound. What does that mean? Fixed proportion. Like water is always H2O. It's super interesting. I'm like, woo, fascinated. I should really finish like coming up with some sort of drawing idea. Like the guy from, like Paul Bethany in the Da Vinci Code. There are classes of compound that the formulas can vary. Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know that. Whoa. Maybe they were French monks. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Les flagellants. With my nice lumberjack French accent. You can vary the ratio of the elements and obtain a different compound with another shade of blue. Ooh. Is that what happens with PV19? Oh, I will not. Good grief. Sorry. Okay, what is the issue with Seneli's brown pink? It's neither brown nor pink. Hey Val, hi. Like, Cindy has two colors. They have brown pink and... is it like brown green or something like that? And one of them is PY 129, and it makes sense a bit. And the other is a mix. But I think all in all, the names make a lot more sense in French. There's something like Style de Grain or... I don't remember. Also, if the compound is unstable, it can oxidize. Greenacite is totally gorgeous when brand new, but that only lasts about 36 hours. Oh, really? What is greenacite? I've never heard of it. Brown green looks very similar, slightly less yellowish. Blackwell. A paint from Banksy. Okay, so in French, they're both style de grain, but the one that is PY 129 is called style de vin gras, style de grain vert. I can speak. So it's like green style de grain, and the other one is called brown style de grain. In that sense, it makes a bit more sense because you don't end up with one that says brown pink, which just like that makes no sense. But yeah, it's the brown style de grain that has 3 pigments in it. And they look really similar, so I don't know what's up with that. It's gotta be some like old colors that they've kept for all this time, but we've sort of forgotten what exactly they're from. I heard someone explain that, but I can't remember exactly, but basically pink used to be the word for another color. Oh, really? Okay, so greenacite, it's a micotized iron compound. It is found in road cuts here in Texas. Now you know who has been wasting her time grinding up local rocks and trying to make paint. Oh, what a shame. Not that you were doing that, but it doesn't keep. Oops, hold on. Okay, sorry. I heard once that the word pink before wasn't like whitish red rose, but something yellowish. But I can't recall the details. Oh, that's interesting. What are you gonna cast in resin, Ellen? I think maybe it wasn't Denise's Senelius Watch With Me. Oh! Haven't watched a Swatch With Me in quite some time. Oops, I'm so sorry. Hey, bonjour Scout! What's up, Minette? T'es où? T'es passé où? Qu'est-ce que tu fous? Salut? Tu veux-tu être la star du spectacle? Bon. Ouais, tu chiales tout le temps. T'es pas contente, t'es pas contente. Salut bébé chat. Faut pas que tu boives dans ma flotte. I heard that the name blue used to be attached to a more green looking hue like cyan. Ooh. Hey Salome, hi! I like making little things, pendants, keychain, bookmarks. But I still have molds for runes, dominoes. Oh, that's cool! And a couple of larger skull ones. Oh, wow, that's pretty nice. Salut, Scouty. Ton oreille. Yeah, she's hijacked the stream. I'm sorry. She's too cute. Beautiful monster. Oh yeah, casting greenosite in resin. Would that keep the color better? Scratchy ears make tuna face. That's a good name for you. Hmm? It's probably a good thing you can't see her hair right now because it's a mess. Hey, here goes Twit. Ben oui, bonjour. Salut. Probably not. Resin yellows over time when exposed to natural light. Oh, really? Huh. So you would kind of have to cast resin with a slight blue to it if you were planning to use it in direct light, I guess. So it is not life as in the way we would think about it. Oh. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce que t'as entendu? Poor baby. I just want to burn my face. I think you would enjoy that. Honestly, I don't think I've ever pet a cat that is as soft as she is. She is super soft. It's a bit lekker. Also very engy. Very engy. So engy. So shady also. They're shedding so much. Why? Une petite bête. She's the cutest floofer. Yes, indeed. Oui, c'est la plus belle. Des monstres. She's the cutest monster. C'est quoi cette face-là? Maybe it's shedding season. Yeah, and Cyan earlier was saying that Ruka is also like being extra shitty. My eyes are cringing at the idea of putting face in the cat bag. Why? Is it because of allergies? Worst practical joke the Finch's gods ever pulled on me. You love cats, but you're allergic to them? I could never have rhinitis. Aw. Can you still pet them, just not put your face in them? Qu'est-ce que tu veux? Où tu veux aller? Tu veux juste être là? Pas super pratique, tu sais. After 15 seconds of petting, Eve will be like, yep. Yep. That's literally what happens. I'm so allergic. Aw. Oh, that's good. No petting without immediate hand washing. Well, maybe Alex? I was wondering if Alex could possibly, because I understand with rhinitis it's not easy, but if that's why her fur is so soft, but it's also really fine. So yeah, oh, you can see cat hair. So yeah, it's always everywhere after, and it's super clingy because it's so fine. So I have resin dolls and keep them out of the sunlight because of the yellowing issue, but even then they yellow. So that means that even if the resin is colored, it's gonna yellow anyway. My sweetheart is very allergic to his eyes can swell shut. Ooh, that's not good. But he loves kitties anyway. Aw. Yeah, we have a Furminator. It works really well, but they don't like it, so we kind of have to do it in short sessions. But even if we kind of brush them every day, and it's still not enough. My old cricket had that Russian blue style double coat, the first step to everything. Oh no. Oh. My 10 dolls turned green, yeah. Ooh, that's so sad. Oh no. Is it the kind of... What was the name of those dolls? The ball-jointed dolls? That you could sort of customize the hair and the face and the eyes and all that. Both the Marmalade boys are totally bewildered about why I don't want to cuddle. They love me and follow me around. Oh no. Oh, that's so sad. The red also fades away. Oh, wow. So they use a red dye probably, since it's not light fast, and the material itself will yellow on top of everything. Yes, ball jointed dolls. Those are really fancy. It's so impressive what people do with them, like in terms of the clothing and the all the work of painting the dolls. It's really impressive. Ellen says, my friend has 3 huskies. At one time she had 4. There is a fur hurricane in her house when she turns on a fan this time of year. A fur hurricane! Oh my gosh, yes. A lot of folks will use alcohol inks and resin too, and I cringe thinking about the light fastness of them. Oof. Yep. Oh, she's back. Rebonjour, Mademoiselle Ton. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Scott? Hey. My sister paints and makes wigs for those type of dolls. Lots and lot of work. Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, that's work that requires so much patience. The Sleek Easy is not as rough on them, so someone will like it better. I use it on the bunners. I've never heard of it. Sleek Easy. Do you really have 5 cats at the moment, Okuni?
Ça discute.
C'est toi qui pognais avec le ton?
Elle vient de sauter dans le ventre.
Elle est needy aujourd'hui, hein? Gros bébéton.
C'était ici.
Yes. I'll also paint them and sew for them. Photograph them. Oh, that's really cool. Dang, that's always so impressive to watch. Yes, 5 cats. Oh my gosh. You probably don't let them go in your bedroom, right? Hey, Nicole, hi! I feel like it's been a while since we saw you. Sorry. My bedroom has barriers and a huge HEPA filter running day and night 100%. Yep. I mean, it's kind of sad that you have to go all this length, but at least there's a way you can still enjoy cats and be relatively able to breathe. Es-tu encore en train de vouloir avoir une place dans ton chandail? Qu'est-ce que tu fais, la fille? How's everything been? I've been away for a long time. Well, I don't know. When were you last on? Because, I mean, COVID was a thing, and we all went through it for sure, but wow, was it its own nightmare. Sometimes I sleep on the floor in the bathroom after I ran the shower. If the air outside is also full of pathogen. Tu fait une tente. Oh, bébé chat. Aw, yes, she's super needy today. So he set her up with a tent of sorts. Because she's a burrowing cat, she likes to be under blankets. Gros bébéton. think like October 2020. I got a new job in interior. I'm no horrible boss. Hey, congrats on that. That's awesome. Congrats on finding something good in the midst of this weird situation. One of the best parts of being retired is no more horrid bosses. It's either a good boss or no boss. What's everyone up to? It's kind of quiet, which is perfectly fine, but I'm curious what you guys are doing. Oh, that's really awesome, Nicole. Ah, it's really great news. Yeah, I remember your boss being absolutely awful. I'm paying taxes. Oh my gosh, Paulo. Procrastinating the cleaning I have to do. Still folding all the clean laundry and putting it away. Oh my gosh. I'm buying a Breyer model horse on eBay because I adore. What kind of... is it a model like that you have to assemble yourself? Is it just a super high quality figurine? I am relearning some basic statistics stuff. Ooh, wow. Dang. Steven, you're I mean, that's really useful skills to have, so I can totally see why, but that sounds like a lot of work. Also maths. Misha says I'm really struggling with my painting. Oh, I tried to repaint a pic I did 18 months ago and it sucked so bad. I feel like I'm going backwards instead of getting better. Oh, yeah, that sucks. I think it's a common and or recurring thing. So I don't think it's cause for full-blown panic, but it still sucks completely. Yeah. Figurine 1 of 800 made in a glossy finish. She's so pretty. Ooh. Ooh, I'd love to see that. Hold on, what's the Breyer model horse? Is Breyer the company or the type of horse? I'm walking back and forth upstairs and downstairs because Ninja has decided that she's not looking at her new little brother one more second today. Nope. Kind of cracks me up just how temperamental the Bonners are. I'm painting a hedgehog in between doing laundry. Oh, that's adorable. Hedgehogs are so cute. Like, you have porcupines, which are mostly terrifying, to be honest. And then you have hedgehogs that are so freaking cute. Breyer is the company. Okay. I bought a glossy Namid. I'll put the pickup on the... Oh, thank you so much! Yay! Definitely want to see. So Jill says, sounds to me like your eye is just leveled up and now your hand skills will catch up. I'm trying to remember what... I think there was a graph going around that was about that. I'm trying to remember what it looked like. Yeah, it was basically about how sort of our brain skills level up before our like handy skills do. So we get to a point where what we do is not what we see in our heads. So we kind of have to level up the drawing skills too, or the painting skills to match better. But as my therapist says, it's been a year. You can't create or even do logic when you're scared and exhausted. It's okay, it will come back. Hey, that's a really good view of it, Ellen. Thanks for sharing. Because our eyes and hands grow at different rates. Yeah. Also, like, sometimes we get the assumption that learning art is like a steady... Oops, it's not the best crayon for that. Best pencil for that. Like, we sort of feel like it should be kind of a line like that, but it's actually more like And you have these sort of plateaus, and then you learn a bunch of stuff. So you have like a boost of learning, and then you sort of plateau. And as you plateau, your eyes sort of continue to improve, but your skills are a bit at the plateau. So at some point you have another spike of getting better, and then another plateau. I think it was something like that. Alright, so I'll try to ink that. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of light. Hitting a plateau is the worst. And long-lasting plateaus are so discouraging. But yeah, they are usually followed by a spike. Yeah. Like, I think the one skill that is the most necessary for art is perseverance. You keep going to it even if it's a plateau and it sucks. Stubborn AF. Well, you got that. Hey, Melissa, hi. Here we go. Put a pic in the general discussion on this of the discard. I gotta go check that out. Weird. By the way, Ev, I love how you greet all. I try. Aw. That's super important to me though, because I'm like, this is the whole point is to hang out, all of us. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Whoa. Wow, that's so cool. Dang, that shine is like perfect. You could do some great studies of shiny stuff on there. Seriously. Bring some fancy lights, or not even fancy ones, and just light it up, and you're bound to have some really interesting stuff to study on that. Hey, Carolyn, hi. Oh, I just got back from a vacation, back to reality. Oh. Was it a good vacation, though? Also, Amisha, another fun part of hearing about this from other people is that it's sort of like you can hear a video about it, but it's not the same as if you hear people you sort of vaguely know share their personal experiences. She's a pretty pony and she was in Canada, so I didn't have to fix it. Oh, win. That's a big win there. I can relate. Feels like friends here. I agree. I just didn't want to assume too much, but I would also say it's friends. It was a great family reunion. Oh wow. How many people? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. Not in the current... you don't have to answer that. I didn't think in terms of COVID and all that. But I'm glad it was really fun. And yeah, also glad to be back with our kitties in my studio, though. I get it. I think we all get you on that. People who say internet friends don't count just don't have any. Hey, that should be a bumper sticker, seriously. Oh, I'm glad, Melissa. That's so cool. This is the nicest corner of the internet. It is one of the nicer ones. I agree. Not big. We were all vaccinated before. Oh, that's good. That's really good. It's so nice that with the vaccination and yeah, like with people being generally responsible, that we can sort of do gradually more and more stuff. Because yeah, there's definitely some people who find it really rough to be stuck in this confinement thing. If it gets to the point that even the introverts are like, I feel like seeing people that, you know, it's been a while. I'm not there yet, to be honest. But I'm kind of extreme in my hermitness. My favorite is Gene Kelly. Who's Gene Kelly? I can type. I can do. I can't do this. I don't have big fingers, but I still put them like all at the wrong places. Have is the hostess with the mostest. I don't know why, but for me, hostess is kind of linked to the food company. So whenever I read the word hostess, I always think of like snack cakes or chips. Which, I mean, it might work in the context of these live stream where we end up talking about food all the time too, so not mad at it. Yeah, I just googled him. I was sort of under the impression that it was the guy, but I had a moment of doubt because my brain briefly confused him with Gene Wilder. And I was like, I don't think that's the proper one. We were in Hollywood studios at Disney World. My dad had to get a pic with lampposts. Oh, that's pretty cool. The dancer in classic musicals. See, I don't do really musicals, so I guess that's why he's not super familiar to me. The one that I sought movies of featuring him was Gregory Peck. Twinkies. We started having Twinkies really not long ago here because most of the snack cake market was occupied by a local company. And in terms of being a snack cake, the local company does some really fine snack cakes. So there was not any like need to bring in something else. I'm singing in the rain. Yeah, I'm now feeling rather old and obsolete. Oh, don't say that, Bolo. What? My husband is going back into the office in July, and I will be in August. And I'm like so very, very much going to miss working at home. Aww. Some companies will sort of keep working at home as an option, so maybe you'll get to be a bit more at home regardless. Hope so. Just watched To Kill a Mockingbird recently. Gregory Peck was great. Yeah, that's the first movie I saw with him in it, and I was like, that dude is cool. And I was like talking to my dad about it, and my dad was like, oh yeah, he's pretty great, and he was like really supportive. And I remember like going to HMV, which is a store that used to sell CDs and VHS tapes and DVDs, and I would always try to find movies with him in it. And at some point, I found a tape of Roman Holiday, and that is such a good movie too. If you haven't seen Roman Holiday, I think that's the word of it. I have a doubt. It's been a while, but I've watched that movie a lot. With oh yeah, my brain is terrible with names today. Roman Holiday. Audrey Hepburn, yeah. Musicals are often very visually very creative too, as well as nice to listen to. I just can't do it. Like my brain is booted out of the movie whenever they start singing, like in musical form. It does that with Disney's too. Like it's not just musicals featuring humans. It's everything. Whenever they take a break to start singing, like I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's a song. I'm watching a movie, it's a song, they're gonna sing, and then we can still find the odd HMV in Ontario, but they're getting rare. Yeah, same here. I think there used to be one in Montreal next to Much Music Plus. That's a very Canadian thing, I think. and it closed not long ago. Like it was there for a bit, but yeah, they're getting pretty rare. Nobody buys that kind of stuff from physical stores anymore. Oh, Roman Holiday is a classic. It's so good, so much so that there's even a knockoff. What's the knockoff anime? What is it? Audrey Hepburn. Oh yeah. I tried watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I enjoyed it until I sort of got enough of what's his name, Mickey Rooney in it. Like one can take Yellowface, not much actually. I'm like, oh no, that's not age. Tada never falls in love. Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna take notes. Hope I haven't smudged anything. Love Audrey Hepburn in Funny Face, which is also because it's set in Paris, huh? Yeah, that role did not age well for Rooney. He did a lot of roles that did not age well for him. Like, big yikes. I always think of that Black Stallion series Rooney did in the 90s. That's a good one to remember. I only remember the movie. That like is the movie you have to watch if you want to cry a lot. It's so sad. Yeah, the movie was really good, but oh, I remember being so heartbroken every time I would watch it. The Black Stallion movie. I think I have to go. Hey, thank you so much for being here, Elise. Really appreciate it, seriously. Especially if you're exhausted. I really hope it keeps on being positive with the bunners. Fingers crossed that it goes well. If I were to study graphic arts, I guess the laptop would not be adequate. No, it would be pretty fine actually. Like if you can get a fancy laptop that has all the requirements for graphic arts. It doesn't have to be a desktop anymore. Geez, when I studied graphic design, like the hot new thing was those colorful iMacs. If you remember those. Yeah. We had to work with old Macs that would still take the 3 1/4 discs. I think that's the size of them, with 3.5 discs. I don't remember which. Hey, Barbara, hi. It's nice to see you. They're bringing the colors back. Seriously? I don't know if I'm excited about that. Still remembers not only 7-inch floppy disk, but did punch cards. And the old 3.5 floppies, they ended up making great drink coasters. I remember those old. Do you guys remember the I don't know if you had to play with that, but when I was much younger, the computer classes, you sort of had to input commands to a turtle, and it would go from point A to point B according to the command, and you could sort of draw shapes with it. They're the flat styles they make now, thankfully, not the old bricks they used to be. Yeah, but I kind of like the all-white aesthetic. I can understand having colors for a phone because they sort of roll in and out of those so fast, but I just feel a bit odd with a colored computer. I don't know why. I'll have to go check them out, see if it makes more sense when I sort of see them rather than just imagine them. Oh, yeah, logo. I remember logo. God, you do. Is it like Math Muncher? I don't know. I just remember trying to understand the commands to input and be like, this is not my jam. I felt like it was super hard. I was not good at this stuff. And they tried to teach us how to type properly, you know, with the hands at the proper place on the keyboard and be like super fast. And I was so bad at that too. Like I flunked out of typing properly. It was called tap touche in French. Or the computers we had at school had the turbo button. Like it could either go at something like, what, 16 hertz, and you would push turbo and it would go to 33 and you were like, whoa. So I worked in a video store in the late 2000s. I couldn't figure out the rental system until one of my coworkers went, "Psst, Ellen, DOS." And I was like, oh my god, DOS! And was fine from them on. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Also remember his logo. Oh, I'm glad you guys remember it, so I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm going crazy. We all cheated and looked. I tried, but even cheating and looking, I couldn't do it. Like I was still too slow for the thing. I still can't type like that now. I have like one hand will do it, but the other one, like I will be using one finger. And I'm like, yeah, it works, so leave me alone. We had Almina typing time. I still remember it. Quick ask Zoe. What stops X-rays? Oh my gosh. the kind of sentence I had to type in French. So, oh. It would start to be like, okay, just type F. Type F, and then it would be like FT, 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 and then FFFFT, FTTTTF, FTF, and you would have to do them, and then they would introduce a third letter, and then words, and they must have made bank by selling that to schools. I mean, oh my god, things is being such a terror. What are you doing, things? I can't believe you remember these, Ellen. Oh my gosh. Either it really traumatized you or you have an amazing memory. Or both. They're not mutually exclusive. No, pretty sure it is the brainwashing. There was a video, this voice haunts me. Okay, so that's inked. I will put it aside, let it dry, and we can take a look at the snacks I got, which basically just means me eating snacks. I can hear her getting into things, but I can't see her. She does this specifically to mess with me. Oh, mines do that too. And does things hack though? Like, I'm doing nothing. Why are you all yelling at me? I didn't do anything. And there's like a pile of stuff that's out of place, and I'm gonna grab a paper towel just in case. So I washed the wrappings with soap and water earlier because COVID. So yeah, I got two. This one I know is mostly a Canadian thing. It's called Coffee Crisp, and it's basically wafer, and cream, but it's not exactly creamy. It's just like bubbly filling and cream and then chocolate. It's sort of a classic around here. It's been around forever as far as I remember, but I only learned much later in life that apparently this is not available in the US, really. I was like, really? Why? It's delicious. Why don't you guys have Coffee Crisps? Why? Why? I was drowning everything that came into the house and rubbing alcohol. Yesterday's brainwashing is today's waterfall mindfulness defense. And then everyone bought all of it. What do you mean, Barbara? Well, I have to mail ketchup chips to my best friend in the States multiple times a year. I got something for Otto. that I will pack in the next package I sent her, but it's ketchup Doritos. And I was like, how? Why? So I thought it was appropriate. We don't have Coffee Crisp because of a big fight with Kit Kat. Oh, what a shame. They're made by the same company, though. They're both Nestle. Kit Kat is Nestle and Coffee Crisp is Nestle as well. Alright, and the second thing, that one is easy to find in the States, I'm pretty sure, but it's Lifesaver Gummies. And it's in my opinion, the best gummies. Oh, the rubbing alcohol. Well, you can use soap and water too. If a thing can be soaked in water and rubbed with soap. Because apparently it's just as good at getting rid of the... Not in the US, they are delusional about patent information. But it's the same brand! All dressed truffles are my favorite things in the world, and they are very hard to find in New Jersey. Oh, they're so good though. I love all dressed truffles as well. So, opening, I'm gonna push out just half of it, because oh my gosh, that's enough already. Okay. Trying to break it, but I don't want to explode it. Ah, there we go. Okay. Can you see? Sort of see? So yeah, you have the thin chocolate, and then you have a wafer, some sort of cream, another wafer, the bubbly stuff. Nothing is soft, like I can push on this stuff and it's not really moving. Another wafer, another cream, and another wafer, and the chocolate again. So this is what it looks like. And it's coffee flavored, basically. Guillaume, tu veux un bout de Coffee Crisp?
Okay. Merci.
I'm gonna share my Coffee Crisp. So yeah, now you just bite into it, which I will mute because ugh. It's very crunchy. Nestle bought both brands, I suspect, and the fight goes back to the original companies. Oh, I see. Are those like the little chocolate, trying chocolate things? What things? So yeah, so it's super crunchy. Like, super duper crunch. I'm renewing my Canadian passport now. Well, I'm Canadian and I live next to the post office, so... Oh no, it's not like Toblerone. Toblerone has nougat in it, which is really sticky. Like when you chew nougat, it stays stuck in your teeth. But this is all like, this is comparatively a very dry bar. Nothing will stay stuck in your teeth, and it's really, really crunchy because the wafers are dry and the rest of the stuff is really dry as well. Hey, thank you for being here, Stephen. I hope you have a great weekend. Next Halloween, I'm gonna buy one of those grab bags of mini Coffee Crisp and email them, and not email them, but mail them to a bunch of you guys. But yeah, so that's a Coffee Crisp. They also have currently they have a version of it that looks a bit like Tim Tams. You guys know what Tim Tams are? They're like a rectangular cookie that is coated in chocolate. Well, they kind of have coffee crisp that are a bit like that. It's again the wafer and the chocolate, the coffee cream, but it's much flatter and it's a rectangle about this size. And in a pack you have 4 of those. We're all heading to the corner store after the stream. It's going everywhere. Tim Tams are so good, especially if you have them as a Tim Tam Slam. Like Tim Tam Slam, you basically grab your Tim Tam and you bite off 2 opposite corners just a bit. And then you try to drink coffee through the cookies, like using the cookie as a straw. Which sounds absurd, but what it does is that when you manage to get the coffee through, it has absorbed in all the cookie. And then you get like a soggy, delicious, hot chocolate coffee cookie. Reese peanut butter is delicious. I don't know what they put in there. I normally don't eat on my workspace, but I used to put Canadian Smarties in my morning coffee for Canadian mocha, but wouldn't all the colors of the Smarties make for a weird color in the coffee? For those who don't know, Canadian Smarties are a bit like M&Ms. They're like flatter M&Ms and they don't taste the same. Like the chocolate is different. I personally think that the M&Ms are better, but what you guys in the US have named as Smarties, here it's called Rockets. Reese's peanut butter at home, peanut butter and powdered sugar. Yeah, but not really. It just looked like you've added less milk. Oh! Interesting. I mean, as a Canadian kid, we've all grabbed the Smarties for longer than was needed and had colored fingers, so M&Ms are better. But it was the principle of the thing. But I mean, maybe Smarties are better in coffee. Like, on its own, the M&Ms are better. Reese had a wafer bar. I think they're like Reese's bars or something. I don't know what they were. Sticks. They were called Reese's Sticks, and they had the wafer and the Reese peanut butter and all that covered in chocolate. We used to be able to find these, and they were so good. I'm a wafer person. Okay, so these have the most amazing smell in the world. They smell like melted popsicles. And like cough syrup, but in a good way. You basically have you have 5 flavors in these. This is the only I can find these, and I can find the sour ones, but I'm not big on sour candy. Blasphemy, I know. That's what you get. So it is orange, green apple, watermelon, strawberry, and wild cherry. I just got it off the second guy who was Ray and Yusuf. He used to put Smarties in his coffee because I had to try. There was merit in the idea. It's a good way to use Smarties. I mean, when you have all the Halloween candies left and all that's left is the Smarties, you can just put them in your coffee. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a gummy that's shaped like a lifesaver. But they taste so deliciously chemically like fake fruits. It's amazing. Bump, bump, bump. I'm gonna get Mr. E some of these too. Tiens, toi aussi tu fais la dégustation. They're so chemically good. Yeah, that's basically all there is to it. But if you have access to those and have never tried them, and you're not put off by things that smell fake but taste good, definitely worth a try. Do you guys ever get Razzles over there? First it's a candy, then it's a gum. I don't know. I think we had Gobstoppers gum at some point. I was really trying to find like Canadian candy at the drugstore, but aside from the coffee crisp, I couldn't think of anything that was really particularly Canadian. Like I say that, but I didn't notice any poutine flavored chips or, you know, some other ridiculous nonsense. No maple flavored bars. There used to be a Mars bar that was maple flavored, or I had like maple flavored caramel. The maple syrup leaf. Yeah, but that's fancy. That's not drugstore corner kind of. Like, the only time I can find maple candies at the drugstore is in spring when it's maple season. They have a few things, but most of the stuff they have will be part maple, part glucose to save costs. Poutine chips make a I also wish they would put maple in everything. I mean, it's made here. What? What is poutine? It's French fries, cheese curds, and gravy. It's a specific kind of cheese curd, like it's made fresh on the day, and you never put it in the fridge before you use it. It has to be used on the same day. And since it has not gone to the fridge, it's squeaky. It's really good. I personally prefer Italian poutine. If I have to, well, not that I can eat it anymore, but when I would be able to eat it, I would either get a, what we call here a frites sauce, which is basically just French fries and sauce without the cheese. And I would usually get Italian poutine or Italian frites sauce. So basically, instead of gravy, you have pasta sauce. Hey, thanks for being here, Val. I hope you have a great weekend. I was robbed. It has cheese. It's meant to. It's not a poutine if it doesn't have any cheese. It's a frit sauce with French fries and sauce. The cheese must be squeaking or it ain't worth the eating. Absolutely. you know what's up. You know the drill. It's not even fancy cheese. It's like cheddar cheese, but it's fresh, like made on the day cheddar cheese. And it's the curds because that's convenient. But when I was younger, we used to live next to a local company that would make cheese. And we would often go and get fresh blocks of cheddar that were made on the day. And you could slice off the cheddar and it would be squeaky as well. Canadian KFC don't have mashed potatoes, just fries, but no cheese curd. They don't get any of it. It's the cheese of the people. We had a cheese house near my house too as a kid. The curds were always a treat. Oh, weren't they? I remember my parents would get, I don't know if they would get the curds per se as much as the blocks, because basically the cheddar blocks were just a bunch of curds pressed together to form a block. Like you could still sort of see the shapes of the squished curds in the slices, but it was just a bit more like convenient to grab a cube of it. Well, cube, a big chunk. Ah, it was delicious. All the KFC been nothing but food lint since they got rid of regular recipe gizzards. What? Hold on. As a person who's never eaten KFC, what's all that? Ow. Which paints do I use today? Like, fresh cheese and green apples was one of my most recurrent snack as a kid, to the point where my doctor as a kid was like, maybe you should stop giving her so much cheese. She's getting a bit chubby. And I was like, oh, bummer. I'm not eating any gizzard, I just want chicken boobs. That's a weird way of putting it. Yippers, I used to work for a KFC in the 70s. And there was a special procedure for gizzards. They were trendy food. What? Pollo morta? Wow! They didn't beat around the bush. Like, is it really dead chicken? I mean, it is, but is that the name of it? They were transcendent food. Huh. I think she meant to say fried chicken, but typoed the I in the wrong place. Amazing fried chicken. I kind of like my fried chicken as General Tso chicken, but that might just be me. They were not even similar to innards, they were completely something else. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, it's great if they use like more pieces of the chicken for meals. That's what we want, isn't it? Ow. Sorry, over here, gizzards is beer food. I wish they hadn't stopped delivery. Why did they stop delivery? I was enjoying the chocolate and gummies, but cheese with gravy and fried gizzards. You must not forget the French fries with the poutine. It looks like it's not pretty, but it's good. I mean, if you like fries, French fries, and if you like cheese curds, and if you like gravy, well, it's still good altogether. I thought a gizzard once. If I hadn't spit it out, I think I'd still be chewing it 50 years later. Well, that's, how to say this? That's, economical? Also gross, but, you know. French fries and gravy. French fries and cheese, yes, but if you don't like gravy, there's a bunch of variants. Like, any sauce you like, you can pour on top of it. And it's going to be a variant of a poutine. Like I said, my favorite was Italian, so with pasta sauce. And I've seen there was a Korean poutine at some point, which was really amazing. It was French fries, of course, cheese curds, but it had bulgogi in it, like Korean beef, and mayo. I don't remember. Qu'est-ce qu'il y avait dans la poutine bulgogi, tu te rappelles-tu?
Non.
Non?
Ah oui, pas.
À part les frites, puis le fromage, puis le bulgogi. So I'm using a vintage palette today because I feel like it, and it's kind of cracks me up that it's also full of cat hair. Fairly sure that the person who had this palette before had cats. I'm just not used to these particular combos. A lot of the poutine eating is done when people are drunk and they need to eat something after like going into bars or something like that. So I don't know if that might put a bit of perspective on the thing. Lasts longer than chewing gum, the everlasting gum kisser. Gross. I like the bacon supreme one. Ooh, bacon, sour cream, green onions. With the rest of it, or just instead of... I mean, with the french fries and curds, but do you still get the gravy on top of that? There was a place locally that had the duck confit poutine. Like, it can be anything. I think the basic idea is that you have french fries, you have cheese curds, and you have a sauce. And there are some you can get that are like, have sliced hot dog sausages in there, or... That made me almost spit my popcorn over. If they're drunk enough, they won't notice or remember. They'll just wonder what the heck when it comes back. Oof. I think the idea is to have it act as an alcohol sponge so you don't get sick. But I can't speak from experience. That's not exactly my... That is one cool thing about living in a tourist town. All kinds of great restaurants to try. Oh, man. There's a bunch of great restaurants here in Montreal, too, but not in this area of Montreal, sadly. There's a few good restaurants, just not a bunch. Everything is further out. Well, further in. Duck confit, yeah. It had, I think, like duck confit and some sort of peppercorn sauce or something. I mean, that's pretty good. Someone made some William Morrison biscuits and I'm still dying inside. How come? What? I think I have yet to have a bad meal in Montreal. Really? William Morris. Okay, what's up with William Morris biscuits? What's that? I think I've yet to have a bad meal in Toronto. The few times I've been, it kind of blew my mind how good the restaurants were and how many good Japanese food restaurants there are. You know the designer William Morris? Yeah, the dude who did all the flowers, the really intricate work? Coffee and fried potato in the duck fat. Ooh. Okay. I mean, Toronto has pretty amazing restaurants. Like even Hero Burger, I was sort of. Like Hero Burger, they're good burgers. And they have like vegan options. How freaking awesome is that? And yeah, like whenever the times I went to Toronto for TCAF, the Toronto Comics and Arts Festival, I always try to visit the Japanese restaurants, the one Japanese restaurant at least once during my stay. And I get their tofu salad because it's amazing. It has like fresh tofu and like I'm not a person who enjoys like leaf lettuce most of the time, but that one is just so good. It is so good. I haven't seen a lot of Japanese restaurants in Montreal, so it's a bit of a bummer. There's a few izakayas, but they're like bars with snacks. They're not exactly like places where you go to get a full meal. I was friends with a lot of chef school students as a 20-something. They always know the best places to get chow. Oh my gosh. Oh, my phone is so far. Oh my gosh, what? Oh my gosh, everything hand-piped in royal icing. Cardamom, flavors cardamom, orange, and vanilla. Check this out, guys. Wow. How are you supposed to eat those after that? They're so pretty. Like, that's the one thing in favor of ugly cookies. You don't mind eating them one bit. Don't talk to me, I'm so dead inside now. Why? I mean, they should be inspiring you, not killing you inside. That kind of makes me want to make some Christmas cookies. Even if it's not Christmas one bit right now. We had a blast making Christmas cookies last Christmas. Me and Mr. E. Or Mr. E and I. We even like decorated them. And it was so much fun. Like, full disclaimer, I don't have anything to nicely decorate cookies. So we made do. And it was a lot of fun. They were good too. I made like gingerbread cookies to decorate, so. I really thought they were real tiles. Hold on. I need to. What is confit? It's you take cooked in low temperature in a fat bath. Yeah, you can have various types of confit. You can have onions, you can have meats. It's kind of easy with duck because duck on its own it's so fatty to begin with. I've never seen something like salmon confit though. Yeah, Paulo knows food. You know, it's a bit like when people make cake pops. I'm like, it's cute, it's fun, but why go through the hassle of taking the cake and turning it all into cake pops when you can eat the cake? Like, you can skip all those steps and eat the good stuff right up. So why why go all this trouble of making them into cake pops when you can just eat the cake? Hey, Pico! Salut, mademoiselle! T'es où? Salut! No? I still want to be where that kitty is. I want to be there too, to be honest. Let's pretend there's no mosquitoes. Be a Serpix. I miss French food, even just the grocery stores. You can cook or you can't cook. You can. Oh, so you would go to the grocery store and just grab what you need and then cook it. Right? Am I getting this right? But I can get Saint Felicien cheese here. Aww. French grocery stores are so huge, I just get lost. Well, not all of them, I guess, but... Still going, hey? Yeah, but not for long, though. I got my first few bites when I was waxing my car last weekend, but Aveeno has a new anti-itch cream that works well. Take that, Skeeters! Dang, I'll have to check that out. Like, I'm not the food of choice for the mosquitoes around here. They prefer Mr. E, but I still haven't found a good thing to put on bites. And I think maybe Mr. E has a slight allergic reaction to the bites because they always get so intense. I mean, it's just a mosquito bite. We've all had those, but they get like mean. So hopefully that Aveeno stuff doesn't have any freaking silicone in it, and I mean, even if it has, like, he might be able to use it regardless. Just not me. I was pretty impressed by it, better than Afterbite. I'll take a pic of the ingredient and put it on the... Oh, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Like, I've tried some natural things, but they don't really make that much of a difference. And Aveeno is widely available now. Yeah, that's pretty great. That's it is oat based, but like 90% of products still add silicone in it. I mean, it's clever to do a cream that's based on oats on a certain level, because oats are really cheap. they're not very demanding to grow, I think, and they're really affordable. So you can make a huge markup if you want. I have to go now, the storm is coming in and we have to button on the porch furniture. Ooh, good luck. I hope it doesn't beat up your stuff too much. And thank you so much for being here, Okuni. I hope you have a great weekend. When I was a kid, I was told to put clear nail polish on mosquito bites. I don't know if it helped, but it kept me from annoying the adults. The only thing I have... Hey, Yuri! Hi! The only thing I have associated with mosquito bites is the smell of the bug spray that you sort of spray on yourself when you go camping so the bugs, mosquitoes don't bite you, but that stuff was awful. And the smell, and you would inevitably taste it because, especially if you're a kid, like I would talk while my parents are spraying me up and down, and eventually you swallow some of it, and ugh, the taste of it, absolutely disgusting. From Aveeno website on anti-itch concentrate, water glycerin, distyryldiammonium chloride, petrolatum, isopropyl palmitate, cetyl alcohol, dimethicone, poop, camphor, methylparaben, sodium chloride, Avena sativa, kernel oil, Avena sativa, kernel flour, and Avena sativa kernel extract. Why not just put like the whole thing? What is left? You got the oil, you got the flour, you got the extract. But either way, I think I'll see about it, and if it's not useful for me, it might be for Mr. E, so... Oatmeal paste. Basically. Hundreds dimethicone. Yeah, that's the most recurrent offender. It's always dimethicone. They put it in everything. But I mean, if I have a mosquito bite and I put a bit of that on it, I don't think I would react all that awfully to it. Like, it's only a small area of skin. So I think it would be okay, probably. Yeah, the methicone, you know the methicone is a silicone because it ends with the own thing. The cone, I don't know if it's C-O-N-E or just O-N-E, but I'm no chemist, I'm no scientist, but there's some usefulness in learning the ending of certain types, like stuff like for proteins. What's the acids? They often have the same letters at the end, and silicone. Dress them up and take away the sting. Well, oh, cool, good to know. Oatmeal paste. That's pretty easy to put together too. Yeah, same with alcohols as well. Like when you buy, let's say, candies, and you look at the ingredients, if it has anything that ends in OL, it's probably an alcohol, most often a sugar alcohol. So sorbitol, maltitol, erythritol, they always end up in ol. And if you see that a candy has a lot of them in there, you know it's going to give you digestive issues. I think proteins always end with the INE thing. But yeah, stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't bet money on it necessarily, but it's my sort of first approach to deciphering the ingredients in something. I used to mix instant oatmeal with calamine lotion. Oh, that's like extra strength. A few itches. Is calamine always pink? Pickle! Genau. Je te check, là. Raton. I've never seen it not be pink. Yeah, same. The Avino cream definitely is pink and come from that at least. Pico was stretching, and she would sort of scratch her claws in the screen on the window. But mixed with oatmeal, it looks like the Pepto-Bismol. Ah! Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Ah, gross. Oh my good grief, that's disgusting. That's kind of the color I'm trying not to get, but with these vintage with the vintage paints, I'm not 100% sure what the colors are, so I'm trying to mix a PBR7 with an ultramarine, and it's sort of not giving me the color I want. So I'm like, how do I fix this? Alright guys, so do you have any more last minute questions before the end of this live stream? Because I think it's overdue. We put a bottle of calamine and 2 packs of instant oatmeal in the blender. You gotta wash your blender really well. I would definitely be on board for a series of videos where you figure out mixes. So good idea. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's something that I was thinking about. I just don't exactly know how to put together the content for it. Like, I haven't figured out the structure for it. It's basically what I'm still thinking about. Like, I don't exactly know how to set it so that, should I make it about how to mix browns and... But then it's like, there's so many ways to do it. Or should I go the other way and have a specific palette and be like, okay, here are some fun mixes you can do with this palette. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out right now. Hurry. Wait, what? Oops. I kind of forgot that I put moss on top of that rock here, so... Cool beans, I will be here when you figure it out. Maybe by color family, like warm browns, cool browns. Oh, that's a good way to split the colors. But you mean in terms of how to get that color? Maybe show how to mix colors to match different random objects. I wanted to... There's one with a video that I was a bit more further along into preparing for it, but it would be a video about cyan, magenta, and yellow, and how to work it out so that you can match almost every color. Like you would be able to take something like this and be like, okay, I want to try and match this color here, and to progressively figure it out using cyan, magenta, and yellow. That's the only sort of video on this that I had a bit more thinking done on, like sort of a bit more work on it, but it's still at the idea stage. Or if by palette you could do what fun and unexpected colors you can get out of conventional pre-made palettes. Maybe you could do a bit of both, because not all company produce the same mixes of favorite mixes from this maker and Yeah, like here's to get teal without paying for cobalt, buckle up. Well, you can't do that. That's kind of, well, you can get a teal-ish color. It's not going to be granulating, but like there are 3 colors you can get through mixing. Yellow, cyan, and magenta. That's the whole point of these 3 colors. So yeah, cobalt, yeah, you can get close to it. What yellow? A neutral yellow. There's a few pigments that can work for magenta. There's a few pigments that can work for the yellow. And I think the best cyan is still phthalo blue-green shade. It's just so strong, so affordable, and transparent and nice in mixes. Yellow is always the color that's a bit more problematic to figure out for this specific triad because there aren't many transparent yellows, and the few transparent yellows that we have are not neutral. They're not like nicely in the middle. Like a PY 154 that might work. PY 3 is a really common one that I think works well. Let me check what's... Oh, come on, Sennelier. Lemon yellow from Sennelier, so I'm guessing I didn't write the pigment on it. Of course I didn't. Ah! Yeah, PY 150, that's not a good one. It's not very neutral either. It's a bit muted to begin with. You need something like punchy like this one here. But yeah, some PY, if it's not PY 154, it might be the 151. I had my Sennelier stuff earlier around here. Let's... So yeah, PY3, that's a really easy to find and common one that I personally think works really well. You see Sennelier has as their primary yellow PY74, but I don't think many brands have that one, so... You have a PY 153 here, but I think that's the one that's harder to find. Like, that's the pigment that's been sort of discontinued. And to a certain extent, their yellow Sophies is nice. It's a bit... like a tiny bit warm, but could still work. But yeah, PY3 is super easy to find, and it's usually the bright yellow that comes with most palettes, so it's not very difficult to find, and it works really well. Were you saying cyan, magenta, and yellow? Yeah, that's it. But yeah, the yellow, it's a neutral yellow. I have a hard time figuring out cool and neutral. You can, if you want to, there's a way you can test it if you have a hard time seeing which is which, is you can mix them with cyan and magenta. If the one that gives you the brightest green, like you can compare, like if you get a bright green in one but a bit more muted purple, then you know that your yellow is a bit towards the green, like towards the blue. And if you kind of get an even mix with the 2 colors, then you know you have a neutral-ish yellow. PY 154 and PY 3, I think most common. Yeah, I think so too. I think cadmium yellow would work. But it's opaque and expensive, so it's usually not the one people go for. When I did the when I did the videos, like the painting tutorial videos from the triad here, this is the triad of samples that Sennelier used to have. I don't think they have it. I haven't seen it anywhere. But it came with Cineris blue, Opera, and this yellow. I think it's gotta be primary yellow, but it's PY 153. And I did the whole video series with these colors, and they were really versatile. Yeah, that's Jaune Snilly Clair. So light yellow, Snilly yellow light. PY 154. I don't remember. I don't have a lot of sets that have PY 154. Could you write that down? Write what down? I ramble a lot, so it's hard to remember. Like, since there's a delay, it's a bit hard for me to figure out like what you guys are replying to sometimes. That's just the regular like chart, the Snilly chart that I don't know where I got it, but have one in French and maybe I have one in English too. Yeah. Maybe I should grab the one in English for this stream. Or real. No! Not. Unless you get Holbein's Aurelian that is a hue and quite nice, but otherwise forget it. Forget it! I think you can find this brochure in PDF form, Paolo. Possibly on their website. Yeah, just gonna wait and see what Melissa wants me to write, and then it's gonna be the end of the stream for today. Peko says hi. I'm a very paper person. Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's in case you need it and you can't find it. I don't remember where I got it, to be honest. I got it like when I started. Oh. Okay, yeah, I can try to do that visually. Hold on. Okay, so I hope this won't be too confusing, but I'll try to make it as clear as possible. So let's say when I try to understand if a color is warm or cold, this is kind of the way I work. So I have cyan is cyan, M is magenta, C is cyan, magenta, yellow. So that's kind of how I represent my colors. I promise Mom chicken salad sandwiches. Oh, have fun making those and have a great weekend, Ellen. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so let's say you want to see what you want basically is a yellow that's just a yellow. But sometimes you might have a yellow that's a bit warm and a yellow that's a bit cold. If it's a bit cold, it's going to have a tiny bit of cyan in it. And if it's warm, it's going to have a tiny bit of magenta in it. So basically, this is, let's say, this is your three yellows and you're trying to figure out which one is this one. Well, if you mix each of these yellow with cyan and magenta, so you have yellow with a bit of cyan plus the cyan, and yellow with a bit of cyan plus the magenta for this one. Here you have yellow plus cyan and yellow plus magenta. And the third one is our warm yellow, so the one that has a bit of magenta, and you also mix it with the other two colors. So basically what you're going to end up is you sort of do the equation of what you get. So here what you get is a lot of yellow, a lot of cyan, and a boost of cyan. So that's going to be a very bright green. okay, because it only has yellow and cyan in it. However, when you come to the purple, if you mix a lot of yellow, a lot of cyan, a lot of yellow, a lot of magenta, but there's a tiny bit of cyan. So since you have all three in there, the color is going to be a bit more muted. So you're going to get a slightly more muted purple. Okay. Here, this one, since all we have is yellow and cyan, so what you get is a nice bright green. There's nothing to sort of mess it up in here. I said purple, but sorry, you're gonna get a green or an orange. Dude, sorry, I hope this is not too confusing because I'm at the end of the stream and my brain is a bit fried. I'll quickly recap, okay? So this yellow and this cyan, it's meant to give you a green. And since you have a bit more cyan, it's going to be a very bright green. It's going to be a good green. This yellow and this magenta, you want to get sort of a reddish orange color. But since you have a bit of cyan in there, it's going to be more muted. It's going to be a duller sort of orange color. Does that make sense? Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Here with the mix here, so only yellow and only cyan is going to be bright, and only yellow and only magenta is going to be also bright. And then the last one, you have a lot of yellow, a lot of cyan, but a bit of magenta. So this one is going to be a bit muted in terms of green color too. While this orange is going to be more vibrant, more bright. But if it's gonna be really subtle, if you sort of can't see a color and be like, oh, it's a warm, oh, it's a cool, like there might be a really subtle difference. And basically, if the difference is hard to see, you can basically use whichever yellow you prefer. Yeah, but that's I don't know about that, Stephen. Like if you take ultramarine, it might have some well, no, if you mix it with ultramarine, ultramarine doesn't have any green in it. Well, not really anyway. Either way, I don't know if that helps, Melissa. If you're on the Discord, I can sort of write it down there and sum it up. But yeah, that's sort of, I know it's a science way of sort of representing genes or something, but I like to use it for color because sometimes it helps me figure out a color. Like if I take any of these colors, let's say I take this green here. So I'm like, okay, that's a muted green. And to me, it seems to be more on the yellow side. So if it's muted, then it means it has at least the three main colors in it to bring it down towards a darker color, more muted color. So I would start saying it has a lot of yellow, and then it definitely has cyan, and then it has a bit of magenta for sure. So I would start by mixing my yellow and my cyan together to get a green, and then progressively add some magenta in the mix until I get something that is close to that. And if I go too far towards one or the other, you can always bring in more of these colors because you're only working with 3 colors, so you can't really you can save any mixture that has gone too far one way or the other. You just bring in more of the other colors and it's going to balance out. So that's kind of how I go about it. Like any color, that's how I would proceed. Like, oh, this is a muted red. So red is basically magenta and yellow. So I would start by mixing magenta and yellow and then adding in a bit of blue and tweaking the color. So that algebraic kind of equation could work for all mixes. Yeah, basically. Hey, thank you so much, April, for being here. Have a nice weekend. And yeah, like all colors, except, of course, primary colors. That's where the thing doesn't really work. And I was able to make something close to perylene green. It's not exactly the same, but like if these 3 colors are the colors your printer uses to replicate almost all the colors, then you can get pretty close to any color in there, only using these 3 colors. sort of the sort of next level information is to realize that the more muted a color is, that just means that it has more of the 3 colors in it. Because there's going to be some cancellation of like balancing out. Because if you mix those three colors, you get black. So that's kind of the idea of it. All right. So we can definitely expand more of on that in the future if that's the sort of stuff that is interesting. In the meantime, I will say again, thank you very much everyone for being here. And I really hope you have a great weekend. If you are not familiar with the Discord server we have, just quickly, it's a platform where we go to chat and you can quickly make an account on there, and it's free and it's super easy to use. And if you have any question, you can ask people on there. They will help you. Everybody's super nice. So the link is in the description. All the other links are in the description. Again, thank you very much everyone for being here. And we will see each other next time. So bye bye guys. Take care.